Hi, this is Alex from Advanced Installer, and today I wanted to talk about modification packages. What they are, what they do, how they function, and at the end some tasty demos and a comparison on how you can create MSIX modification packages with Microsoft MSIX packaging tool and Advanced Installer. So let's talk a bit on what challenges are present in the industry. You get a new application. You need to customize it. Fine. You get a new application, an updated version of it. You need to customize that as well. It's a never-ending cycle which is happening in most infrastructures. Sometimes you might even have bad customizations or customizations that don't work, which will lead to some frustration and smashing stuff, which is not okay. This whole process is not happening because people want to do this, but it's necessary, and unfortunately this cycle does not bring you any return of investment. MSIX will try to change the way the industry works at the moment, and if we have a look on how other update technologies are working in present times, we have Windows Update. Windows Update started to be somewhere around twice per year. Of course, it depends if you are an insider or not, but for normal people, most users, it's twice per year. And then you have your Microsoft Store or other CDN updates. As an example, for this we can take Advanced Installer, which is updating every month. So MSIX modification packages will try to change this way. Modification packages are targeted mostly for managed infrastructures, where you can create the modification package once, and if the application still supports the customizations with further versions, you may never need to change that customization ever again. It all depends what's in those customization packages. To better understand what I'm trying to say, let's have Microsoft Whiteboard as an example. So you have Microsoft Whiteboard. You downloaded from the Microsoft Store, you created a modification package for it, and you dump it in the infrastructure. You will never have to worry about that application again, because Whiteboard is auto-updating via the Microsoft Store, and the customization package will always work for it. Of course, Microsoft doesn't change anything in the application, but that's where Microsoft tries to go with those modification packages. So on a high-level view, modification packages are basically a standalone MSIX package, but you don't install it with the application, with the main application like we did with MSIs. You can deploy it whenever you want. Think of it like a patch. You can also add versions separately from the main application, meaning if you have a main application with version 1.0, you can create a modification package with whatever version you want. It's not dependent on the main application, and this helps you keep a history of changes in your infrastructure. Of course, if you want, you can have multiple modification packages on the same main application. It's kind of like Office add-ins, if you think of it. So what happens with these modification packages? Well, these modification packages merge with the main application. The virtual file system is merging when you open the application. It combines the contents for both packages. So let's have a look in a bit more technical stuff. So although both MSIX and MSIX modification packages have been initially supported only on Windows 10 1809 or higher, Microsoft added support on Windows 10 1709 and 1803, but keep in mind it's only for normal MSIX packages, not MSIX modification packages. As long as the customizations apply, you don't need to create another modification package for the main application. The customization stored in the MSIX modification packages will be successfully applied to the new MSIX package for the main application once the new MSIX package gets installed. However, this is what we were discussing earlier. MSIX modification packages do not contain the main application. They contain small files or registry or whatever other customizations you may add to a main package. And that's why you cannot install a modification package without the main application already installed on the machine. But does that mean that modification packages are the former transform or MSTs for MSIs? Well, technically not really, because you don't need the main application in order to create a modification package. You can create it separately if you know the whole design of it. And also this can be installed later on without needing the main application in the same installation sequence. So am I saying they are patches, the former patch files that we have for MSI? Well, not really, because you cannot update a whole application. You can only customize it. To better understand what I'm trying to say, let's say you have VLC Media Player. I think it's a good example. You have VLC Media Player version 3.0. You cannot create a modification package to apply an update to that VLC Media Player. You cannot create VLC Media Player version 4.0 as a modification package and apply it. It doesn't work like that. So no, they are not technically patches as well. One other topic regarding modification packages on a high level technical overview, it's how you uninstall them. When you install them, we will see this later. When you install a modification package, in Add Remove Programs you have your main package, and underneath it you have your modification package. But if you uninstall your main package, that doesn't mean that the modification package itself gets uninstalled, because you can later on come with a new version of the main application and the modification package will be applied over it automatically. So let's have a bit of a deep dive, let's say, on how modification packages work. So modification packages, as said, they are technically MSIX files. And of course, all of the behavior of the MSIX package is stored in the AppX manifest.xml file. To define that an MSIX package is a modification package, there is a main package dependency entry which you need to add in your manifest file. That comes with two attributes. So if we have a look on how the XML looks when you define that an MSIX is a modification package, you can see that if you have the name of your base application and also the publisher. The name must match the identity name of the main MSIX application. While the publisher, technically you don't have to match it with the identity publisher of your main application, and technically it could be missing if the publisher is the same. But for best practice, it's better to keep the same publisher. Moreover, in the light of the new MSIX features, starting with Windows 10 1903, the manifest file of the MSIX modification package must also have the modification package entry set to true within the property session. And if we have a look, it will look something like this. It's easy. Advanced Installer does it automatically either way. One other important topic that we need to discuss about is the virtual file system merging. So, as stated, the virtual file system for both main application and modification package is merged during runtime. However, if you ever saw an MSIX file, an MSIX application, you will notice that you have a folder called VFS. That is the folder which is merged during runtime. If you have customizations in forms of files and they are not present in that folder, and let's say technically they are outside of that folder, they will not be merged during runtime, meaning that your main application will not receive those customizations. It's only applicable to customizations which are done via files and not registry. So with that out of the way, let's have a look on how you can create a modification package with both Microsoft MSIX packaging tool and advanced installer. If we go into the monitor, I already created an application called my base application. If we open up that application, you will see that says, hello world, this is configuration 1. This string here, this is configuration 1, is actually from this configuration.txt file. If we have a look over the package on how it's created, it's a simple MSIX package. It only contains two files. You have your myapp.txt that opens up and reads from the configuration.txt. That's pretty much it. So let's say I don't want the application to write what I have in my configuration.txt right now. Okay, so let's modify this and say this is configuration 2. Sounds pretty good to me. Okay, so let's open up advanced installer. Drag it to the monitor, and if we go to the Windows Store, you can create a modification package. If you see, advanced installer asks for your target package, so your main MSIX file. You can also click cancel here. You can, if you know how the main application is created and all the files and all the folders and registry is totally fine, we'll not ask you for them. So let's browse to our main MSIX file. If you go into projects, you have my base application, the build, and the MSIX file. You click OK, and everything is imported. So let's change the display name. Let's say this is my base application configuration 2. Of course, we can also change the publisher name, but let's keep it coffee on. We also need to sign the MSIX modification packages, of course. So let's sign it here. I have my certificate here on the disk. Let me browse for it and add it here. I can also synchronize the publisher ID to match the first MSIX file, and since this is the same publisher, because I use the same certificate every time, it's totally okay. So let's click here, yes. And if we browse into the files and folders, you can see that Advanced Installer automatically sees what you have in your main application. So in your main application, you have your program files folder, my app folder, and in your my app folder, you have my app.txt and the configuration.txt file. So if I want to add the new configuration, which is, this is configuration 2, you can just click and drag. Of course, this is already present, but we will overwrite it. Let's click yes here. And that's pretty much it. Now we can save our project if you ever want to modify it again. I already have here a folder for this, so let's save it here. Oh, it already exists, yes, let's overwrite it and let's build it. Once the build is done, just click here. It will open up the folder with your modification package. Double click it. And if you can see, it says that this app will modify my base application if installed. So let's install it. Cool, that's it. And now let's open up our main application. So if I drag our main application, you can see that now has the configuration tool that we modified within our txt file. So once we launched our application, it merged with the modification package virtual file system and said, hey, this is a new configuration, let's read from here. And if we have a look on add remove programs to see how it looks, let me open up here my add remove programs and let me just search for the application. So in add remove programs, there's nothing unusual. Technically, you just see your my base application, but if we go in advanced options and scroll to the bottom, you'll see that you have an add-on applied to your main application, and this is our modification package that we just did earlier. Pretty cool, right? If you can uninstall it. If we uninstall this modification package and open up our application again, I think I need to drag it again. Yes, of course. Here you go. It's back to its original configuration. So let's see how you can perform the same changes that we did with Advanced Installer and create a modification package with MSIX packaging tool from Microsoft. So if we open up the MSIX packaging tool, okay, yes. Let me drag it here. You have an option to create a modification package. If we click it here, you see that you can create your package on your machine, on a remote machine, on a local virtual machine. It's totally up for you, but I will create it on my machine. The packaging tool then has some checks if the driver is installed, if any reboots or Windows Defender is up and shuts it down for the moment. If we click next, we must provide our main MSIX package that we want to create the modification package. So let's dive into the Advanced Installer projects. We have our base application and our base MSIX. The certificate is already saved. And if we click next, let's say package name, my app version 2, my app version 2, publisher name will be Cafion, let's say version 2.0.0, and if we click next, MSIX packaging tool does not offer you an option to view your main MSIX file. So basically what you are doing now is just a capture of the system. And if we want to change that configuration.txt file in our main application, we need to open up program files, my app, on your local computer, copy the new configuration file there. So copy and paste. Yes, please. And now, are you done? Yes. Move on. The packaging tool now prepares the package. We can save it on the desktop. So let's hit create. Cool. So now we have it saved here. Let's open it up and install it. This app will modify my base application if it's installed. Of course, we want that. So let's install it. Okay, and now let's run my base application again. And if we can see, now the base application has been modified again and has the same configuration as previously with Advanced Installer. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, let us know. We will create many videos like this. Also, check out our blog, and if you want to get in touch with us, check out our forum, and don't forget to try our free Express Edition Advanced Installer. Thank you. Bye bye.